it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves. It's Dave and I'm bringing you again another match preview, the final match preview for a home game this season, which is pretty crazy how quick this season has gone, all the way back where we played Everton at home, and now we're here for the final home game of the season already. And what a season it has been for Wolves, and a win tomorrow could just top it all off. It could be fantastic. It's going to be a great event tomorrow, playing up against already relegated Fulham, but a good Fulham team are on a little bit of a run of form at the moment as well. We're going to be talking all about that in today's video, but as always, make sure you hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any uploads. But before we start off, the match stats, and to be fair, the match stats today probably read better than any other game that we've seen this season. So Wolves have lost none of their last 14 home meetings with Fulham in all competitions. Wolves have won 10 and drawn 4 of those competitions since a 4-0 loss in the second tier in April 1985. Saying that though, we've lost none of our last 14. I'm pretty sure we lost to them on penalties in the Cup a couple of years ago. Am I right or wrong? Who knows? Anyway, in the Premier League though, Fulham have lost 3 of their 4 meetings with Wolves at Molineux, drawing the other one, conceding exactly twice in each defeat. Wolves have won 15 Premier League games this season, with the last promoted side to win more in the Premier League campaign being Reading in 2006-2007. Wolves were unbeaten in 7 Premier League home games, winning 5, drawing 2, since a 2-0 loss to Crystal Palace in our first match of 2019. But already relegated Fulham have won 3 consecutive Premier League games without conceding a single goal. They last won 4 top-flight games in a row in April 1966. It's going to be interesting, this game. I think Wolves are in a good run of form at the moment, and our win against Watford last week was fantastic, and it really is now giving us one hand on 7th place in the league. If we win tomorrow and Leicester drop points, then 7th place is ours, and then we've just got to rely on maybe Manchester City beating Watford in the FA Cup, and a potential Europa League spot is there for us. But we look at Fulham as well, having a very poor season. You know, their fans will be definitely disappointed with that. But spending a lot of money as well. A couple of changes of managers. I think Scott Parker, who's in charge at the moment, is their 3rd manager this season. And he's got them playing some good football. He's got them winning games, which I think is key going in towards next season. If they can carry on with that winning mentality, for them to go into a new season on the back of a few victories will be huge for them. Scott Parker will definitely be hoping that he can maybe grab the job on a full-time basis. In terms of key players, I think Mitrovic is probably the man. When you talk about Fulham, he's the man at the moment. He scored a decent amount of goals for them despite getting relegated. And I think it'll be very difficult for them to keep hold of him. I think a lot of Premier League clubs will be interested in Mitrovic. Probably wouldn't mind him down the Molineux, to be honest. He's a powerful striker, someone maybe that we could do with, but he's got quite a short temperament. But I know Fulham fans would be gutted to see him go. He's got plenty of goals in him. But, I mean, you know, that stat about Wolves and Fulham, you know, being Wolves at home to Fulham. Fulham are one of the teams that I always think, we had some crazy games against them. We had the 4-4 draw against them a couple of years ago when we were 3-1 down, I believe. We got it back to 4-3 and then conceded in the last minute. That's when Harry Burgoyne was in goal. Some great goals in that game. But last season was a weird one for me at Molineux. Fulham, you know, were, other than Wolves and obviously other than Cardiff, you know, we were the 3 teams to go up. But they were probably one of the best footballing sides that I'd seen at Molineux. But one of the best footballing sides that I'd seen play in the league. But at Molineux, they were strange. They were really, really poor, I thought, on that game. I think it was a Friday night game, and they were just very poor. And we got, I think, a 2-0 win in that game in the end. I'm hoping again that we can win tomorrow. I think a win would be huge for us. Nuno has been hinting maybe starting Will Norris. It will be interesting to see if he does get a nod tomorrow. I would prefer Patricio. I would prefer us to wrap up 7th before we try any of this token selection sort of thing. Obviously, I wouldn't be overly bothered to see him at Liverpool, but at the same time, I could see a lot of fans really wanted to beat Liverpool, and I don't think Man City fans would be too impressed with that either if we are starting a 3rd choice goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, Norris is a very good goalkeeper. Last season in the Cup, you know, I don't believe he conceded a single goal in normal time. However, in what was it, the FA, well, no, the last game of the season against Sunderland, he wasn't fantastic, to be honest. He had a bit of an iffy game, but there's definitely quality there. So I would like to see him in a Premier League game, but I'd prefer us to wrap up 7th place before we do that. But other than that, I think it should be an unchanged team. Wolves are very, very good against Watford, very organised, and I think against a team like Fulham, I don't think we'll sit back. Missing Dennis Adoy as well due to concussion, so their back line is going to be changed around a little bit. I think we've got a good chance of winning this game, and I really do back us to try and do something today against Fulham. Before I move on though, I've got the thoughts of a Fulham fan who speaks about Fulham season and Wolves season. A good friend of mine, JCC.
What is up, Wolves fans? It is JCC, and I'm jealous. Okay, first off, congratulations on an amazing season. I mean, where has it gone wrong for Fulham? Pretty much everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. We came up with the same expectations as Wolves, I think, and wow, 2 different seasons. I mean, we have just been so disappointing. That being said, in recent weeks, with Scott Parker taking over, it's looked great. We've looked a lot better. But the money we've spent, the performances have been awful, and Wolves have just been the direct opposite. I think with Wolves, if you guys had managed to beat the teams at the bottom of the table, I mean, you could be challenging for the title. All right, a little bit too far there, but you guys don't tend to do too well against the teams at the bottom of the table. I'm predicting a draw. I'm thinking a 1-1. Yeah, we will find out. We'll see, I guess. Hopefully, Fulham can pull something out of the bag. We've won 3 in a row. We've doubled our clean sheet tally since that. I mean, it's been ridiculous. We've beat a first time. We beat the top 10 side in the league. Can we do it again against Wolves? I don't think we're going to get the win. I'm seeing a 1-1 draw, and I'd be happy with that, with our last game of the season being Newcastle, going into the end of it and down to the Championship with a little bit of form. Yeah. Overall, though, jealous. Jealous of Wolves for sure.
So there we go. You can find John's channel in the link down below and his Twitter as well. But in terms of Wolves, as I say, I think I would go unchanged. Patricio in goal. He's our number one. He's had people say stuff about him. We've had John Ruddy people say stuff about John Ruddy. But I think for me, shot stopper wise, Patricio number 1. Back 3 has got to be Bennett, Bolly and Cody. I've said things about Bennett before over the last few weeks. I said I was surprised to see him in a Wolves shirt again, but since he's been reintroduced the last couple of games, he's been very, very solid. Of course, he made that big error against Watford, but I think, for the rest of the game, he did quite well to compose himself. And I think, as a ball-playing centre-back, I'm surprised that's not happened earlier, to be honest. Connor Cody, been fantastic, a breath of fresh air this season. A player that I believed would probably struggle to make the step up, but he's done very, very well alongside Willy Bolly. For me, one of our players of the season. Probably doesn't get as much praise as maybe the attacking guys do, but he's very, very solid, isn't he, Willy Bolly? Johnny and Doherty, again, as the wing-backs. Both of those, especially Johnny, the last couple of weeks has been fantastic. Really hope we can see him driving forward again. Midfield 3, then Duncan, Matinho, Neves. I know all of those have been shuffled around a little bit over the last few weeks, but those 3 are the midfield 3. And I saw the Wolves put a stat on Twitter about Dendoncker. We've won over the 53% of the games that he's played in, which is a fantastic stat. And of course, Jota and Jimenez, J&J up front, both of those guys on form at the moment. It's going to be a good celebration though. I know they're going to do the lap of honour after. They're getting the Wolves Academy and the Wolves women involved. Wolves Academy obviously recently lifting that title. Sin Cara, the WWE wrestler, is there as well. I think Nuno's picking up some university degree of some sort. It's going to be a crazy day, but hopefully Wolves can pick up the 3 points. Quickly going through some score predictions over on Twitter. Liam Bagnall goes Jimenez to score twice. Sin Cara to DDT Mitrovic. Wolves to win 2-0. Mystic Kev goes Wolves 4, Fulham 1. Ian Lockley has got Wolves 7, Fulham 0. Okay. Adam Langston says 3-1 Wolves. David Gold says 1-1. Carl Jones says go all out to score early for a 3-0. Manny goes 2-1. Diogo and Raul as usual. Shiv goes 2-1 Wolves. We've got Jota with a brace and Babel scoring the goal for Fulham. David Dunn goes 3-0 Wolves. Anthony Benson's got 2-0 Wolves. And Bashabaz goes 4-0 to Wolves. My prediction tomorrow is going to be 2-1. I could see a draw, but I really hope Wolves can get a win. And just if we could secure 7th tomorrow, I think it puts a lot of pressure off us. I think as long as we win, Leicester... Leicester have got City, I think, this weekend, haven't they? They've got a tough couple of fixtures coming up. As long as City don't drop points there, fingers crossed they don't, I think we can secure 7th tomorrow, and that would let us relax a little bit for next weekend against Liverpool. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, though, guys. Hopefully Wolves get a win. Tomorrow we'll have the match review alongside some of the fan cams outside Molineux as well. But be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all very, very soon.